it unleashes their creative potential, unlike where decisions have to be taken for everybody. So I believe that this report has come at the right time. We will implement it in a bipartisan manner. All of us would come together and implement as many of the provisions as possible. I take, for instance, the issue of the Council of State and the enormous powers the president is giving to make appointments. I believe that the Council of State giving a bigger role in those appointments will create more credibility in terms of people who are appointed to those positions. Of course, the president will still sign the appointment letters, but the Council of State will go through the process of identifying the persons to be appointed. So these are all some of the teasers I was giving before, which you are now hearing. And I want to thank the committee very much. On behalf of the people of Ghana, you have done a great service to our nation, and you can be proud of yourselves. We have to take a decision whether to just make that. Now that we've received it, I mean, I don't want it to be kept like a nuclear secret. We probably would have to decide on a date to publish it so that all Ghanaians know what is in the summary while we wait for the actual detailed copy.
At the recommendations that we got from many of the eminent persons that we met, including some who have occupied your seat, that the 4-year term was short. It was too short. And we also then learned that the emerging global norm was 5. And that even in the region, we in Nigeria have the lowest. I mean, 4 is pretty low. So we're proposing an extension by 1 more year. We have coupled that with certain recommendations on the area of campaigning, because the claim was that the president takes about 6 months or so to set up, and then 1 year campaigning and all of that. So we thought, okay, so if we then follow the example of other countries in Africa, including Senegal, where there is a definite campaign period before which you cannot do electioneering. You can't put posters, can't put billboards, can't do jingles, can't do rallies. So it's like the fishing season. You have to open it before you can go fish. So we are proposing a campaign season, a short one, so that government will have time to govern, and that the people we elect to do the government's business will really have time to focus on governing as opposed to doing campaigning. So for the first time, we hope, if this is accepted, that we will have a political or electoral environment where campaigns, we do not run 24-hour, 24/7, 4-year campaigns, but where there is a definite period before which parties and candidates may not do campaigning. We think that would free up time for governing. But I think some of the changes we've also made in the area of appointments, I think will also unburden the presidency and also allow the president to focus more on the real business of governing as opposed to being saddled with many appointments, some of which we believe that the president will be more.
The program was designed by Exim Bank to provide alternative sources of livelihood for the youth in areas of the country affected by the phenomenon of illegal mining, or Galamsay. In doing so, the Exim Bank intended that the loans under the program would go to companies committed to ensuring the realization of the objectives of the initiative, especially in relation to job creation for young persons in mining communities. In December 2017, Wontumi Farms Limited submitted its application for a loan of 18 million Ghana cedis, purportedly to cultivate maize on 100,000 acre farmland and to employ the youth on the farm. At the time that the application was submitted by Wontumi Farms Limited, together with a purported board resolution, the company was not yet registered. In other words, it was not in existence. In short, the company did not exist at the time of the loan application by its sole shareholder, and director. Investigations established that Wontumi Farms Limited was incorporated on December 14, 2017, and issued with a certificate to commence business on the same day. The principal business activities of the company, as stated in its corporate registration documents, are general farming, agribusiness, and agro-processing. The directors of the company are Bernard Ntwebusuako and Thomas Ntwebusuako, with Chairman Wontumi being the sole shareholder of the company and also listed as its company secretary. Thomas Ntwebusuako is believed to be the brother of Bernard Ntwebusuako, domiciled in the United States of America. Prior to the registration of the company, that is Wontumi Farms Limited, Chairman Wontumi wrote to Exim Bank that the board of directors of Wontumi Farms Limited had met on December 9, 2017, and had resolved to seek a loan facility of 19 million from the bank to support its farm project at Asare Nkwanta in the Ashanti region under the Mining Alternative Livelihoods Initiative. The application letter stated, among others, that the credit facility was meant for a farming venture and that the company had secured 100,000 acres of land for that purpose. On January 16, 2018, based upon the application submitted by Chairman Wontumi, the chief promoter of Wontumi Farms, Exim Bank approved a medium-term loan facility of 18,734,260 Ghana cedis, which included a grant component of 6,768,260 Ghana cedis. This offer was accepted via a letter dated January 23, 2018, and Chairman Wontumi, acting as the Chief Executive Officer of Wontumi Farms Limited, and Thomas Ntwebusuako as Director of Wontumi Farms Limited, failed to provide a database of farmers, of farmhands to IBAN Capital, as there were no farmers working on the land, no farmhands working on the land. According to witnesses, Chairman Wontumi, as CEO of Wontumi Farms Limited, insisted and put pressure on IBAN Capital and Exim Bank to transfer the 400,000 meant for the workers to Wontumi Farms Limited on the basis that the youth who were involved in Galamsay were not used to complex electronic payment systems and wanted to be paid in cash. In order to execute the project, Wontumi Farms Limited had submitted a pro forma invoice to Exim Bank for the purchase of farm equipment, including tractors, combine harvesters, corn seeder machines, and Wellington boots. The invoice was submitted on December 15, 2017 as part of the loan application process. Subsequently, Exim Bank demanded proof that the equipment has been purchased. On March 18, 2018, Chairman Wontumi submitted a receipt from a company known as Kasama Enterprise for the purchase of the equipment in the sum of 4 million Ghana cedis. However, and this is where it gets interesting, the equipment purchase as shown on the receipt included bulldozers and excavators. Our investigations established that Chairman Wontumi had approached Kasama Enterprise, an industrial equipment dealer, and obtained an invoice with a promise to return to purchase the said equipment. He never went back to purchase the equipment. Instead, and this is where the criminal enterprise began, he forged the invoice he obtained from Kasama Enterprise by removing the word invoice and replacing it with receipt. This forged receipt was then submitted to Exim Bank as proof that he had purchased the equipment after the disbursement of the loan facility. The owner of Kasama Enterprise confirmed to investigators of the Economic and Organized Crime Office that the only document he issued to Wontumi Farms Limited through Chairman Wontumi was a pro forma invoice and not a receipt. He stated that after he issued the invoice, he never heard from Chairman Wontumi again, despite repeated follow-up calls. The forged receipt submitted to Exim Bank suggested that Kasama Enterprise acknowledge receipt of the sum of 4 million Ghana cedis for the purchase of earth-moving machines and farming equipment. The so-called receipt had on it, and ladies and gentlemen of the press, this is what gave him away, 50 days to supply and 1 year guarantee and service. Mr. Percival Akpalu of the Liberal Party of Ghana, the Financial Intelligence Center flagged and filed a suspicious transaction report with First Bank Ghana Limited regarding transactions on an account belonging to Poma Universal Ghana Limited. That is a company owned by the said Kofi Akpalu. Following the STR, that is a suspicious transaction report by the FIC, the Economic and Organized Crime began an investigation into the matter. The investigations revealed that Poma Universal Ghana Limited, a business entity owned entirely by a lady called Ekua Poma, was the legitimate contractor that was awarded a feeder roads contract by Cocoa Board. The contract, which was valued at 29.5 million Ghana cedis, was awarded in December 2020. Although the project commenced and an initial amount was properly deposited into Poma Universal Ghana Limited, subsequent payments raised serious concerns regarding misrepresentation, forgery, and unauthorized handling of the checks. Our investigations revealed that Akpalu secretly incorporated another company, separate and distinct from Poma Universal Ghana Limited, also known as Poma Universal Ghana Limited, but deliberately added H to the Poma. So Poma is P-O-M-A-A, all right, Ghana Limited, which is a company which is owned by Ekua Poma. What the company that he incorporated added H to the Poma, so it became, I don't know how to pronounce it, but the same Poma, yeah, Poma Ghana Limited, Universal Ghana Limited. But the difference was just the H at the end of Poma. And so after having done this, between December 2022 and June 2024, Akpalu collected 8 checks issued by Cocoa Board in the name of Poma Universal Ghana Limited. That is the original and authentic Poma, totaling 3.1 million. That is 3,169,432 Ghana cedis and 22 pesos, and deposited them into the account of his own company, that is also Poma Ghana Limited with an H at First Bank Ghana Limited. Again, our investigations confirmed that Ekua Poma was unaware of both the existence of the Poma Ghana Limited, that is the second company, and the diversion of the funds until Cocoa Board contacted her in June 2024 regarding outstanding balances on the contract. She subsequently discovered that Akpalu had collected and misdirected the payments without her consent. Ekua Poma also alleged that Akpalu forged her signature on the Cocoa Board contract using her former name, Mercy Owusu,